All right, guys, we are recording. So welcome to 2025 and our first basic training of the year. So my name is Coitt Kessler, and for those, I'm trying to look at the participants to see who all I have here. Um, uh, I'm not sure how many of you guys I know or not on this one. I just saw Matt Bridgefarmer type in the chat. So for those that are unfamiliar with the way Zoom works, if you look down at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see a chat feature. All right, and I've got two of my partners here, both Dave Spraggs and Ramon Lewis, that are going to help us with when you guys are putting in questions, and we want this to be as interactive as possible. You get an hour with us, and we just want to go, as hard as we can. Matt, Mark, got it. That was a test. See that you just came through there, but we want to make sure that this is as interactive as you guys need it to be. Um, and I think Dave or Ramon, can you help me with the unmuting of the participants?
Not a problem.
Thank you for that. So while they're doing that, first name is Coitt, last name is Kessler, and I'm a retired Austin firefighter, and I was the program manager for our team for the last 8 years of my career. And I'll pass the ball over to Dave Spraggs and Ramon Lewis. Those are two of my teammates on the customer success side, and they can share where they come from and what they've done.
Hey, Ramon, go ahead.
Yeah. So again, Ramon Lewis was previously with Austin Fire, 22 years. Quick and I came through little peas in the pod in the same academy class. But again, we've had a lot of different experiences with drones in positions that most people wouldn't even think to have a drone with them. Maritime, off the side of cliffs, in near holes, looking over exit points. So we've had them with us, weighed out different aspects of where do we fit in better as rescuers or as drone pilots. So if you've got those questions for us, tactically, give them to us because, like I said, each and every one of us brings something to this table. Each and every one of us sits around the table and gives an idea that everyone else says, aha. So please, no question is too crazy. No question is too stupid. Ask away. David?
Hey, thanks for that, Ramon. As Coy said, my name is David Spraggs. I'm a manager on the customer success team here with DroneSense. I'm based out of Boulder, Colorado. I'm a retired detective sergeant for the city of Boulder Police. And during my career, we all wear a lot of different hats, patrol investigations, evidence unit. I was a bomb tech for 13 years, and I've been a remote control hobbyist my whole life. So in 2016, I had the opportunity to start the drone program for the city of Boulder PD. And what I love about this is that I was a DroneSense customer for years before joining the company. And so, like all of us on the call from the team, were customers before working here. So we know and I think really understand the what you're going through and how we can support you. And I'm just really honored to be here with you all today. And we're looking forward to a great 2025 training series.
And with that, the training series, as Dave just mentioned, it is a series. We're going to have this every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, you're going to get a different subject that we've kind of picked out of the hat, and we'll be sharing with you. These all are recorded, as you heard me mention earlier, and so there'll be a resource for you guys later on, or to pass on to the folks that aren't on this call. Our jobs as customer success managers are to make sure that you have what you need to get your job done, right? And that's going to be in all areas, as Ramon mentioned on the tactical side. If you need help on that end, as Dave's mentioning on the program management piece, it's how we put it all together. And so you're not just buying some software that you're having to figure out. We are accessible to you. And this series is to help you get through the beginnings of you building a program out. We got Matt Bridgefarmer on here, which is great. He is not a beginner. Matt's been in charge of the Texas Parks and Wildlife program for years, and he's still attending these classes. I'm sure he'll probably be able to pipe in some good information here. Um, what I would want to make sure, and I'm going to, at the end of this, David and Ramon, please keep me honest on this. I want to post our working group as well. So in addition to having an every other week uh, basic training group, we have an every week, all right? Every other week basic training. So you're going to get this every every week. We have a basic or basic working group, and that's on Fridays, and that is 12 o'clock Eastern Standard. So we're going to post that link up here in the chat, so you guys will be able to attend that. So we have a lot of different ways to be able to get you information and tie back in with you, and we want to make sure that you've got everything you need and you have all your questions answered. Today we're going to be going over Airbase 101. So this is a lot, and we're going to kind of cram it into a small package here. And we've already gone through a few minutes, so we're gonna move somewhat quickly here, but we want to make sure this is interactive and that you are asking your questions. And if you don't have the questions now, you'll have a way to get in touch with us afterwards. So when you guys are processing all your questions out, that you can get in touch with us and we can speak individually to you and your groups. With that, I'm going to start with our little PowerPoint here. Me get to this. All right. Dave and Ramon, can you validate? Is it showing Airbase 101 up here?
Airbase 101, check.
All right. Thank you, guys. So again, this is going to be our basic training, our first one leading off for 2025. The agenda is going to be pretty simple. We're just going to go over an overview of Airbase, what that means, and hopefully having a discussion on this. Strategies for your organizations. We're going to try to plug this in while we're going through this introduction to the Airbase and why this is important to you and your agency. And then please let's get some Q&A going. And if it's not, I'll reiterate, if it's not during this session, you'll have a way to contact us. Let's make sure that it's afterwards and you follow up on your questions. We don't want to leave you out in the cold. You need to have answers to do this the right way. And I'll start this whole thing with, you're not alone. I mean, we've got 68 participants on this. That speaks really well for our community. That's what we try to aim for on our Friday working groups. You are not alone, so make sure that you're asking questions, that you're staying connected with us, because this is how we work together. I mean, this is how we build this is together. So let's talk about the way that this is built. The software is built. I apologize for some of you old timers like Matt Bridge Farmer. You know, he recognizes this already, but for those that are new to DroneSense, we're divided up into three different areas within the software, right? And that's we have Airbase, we have Ops Hub, and then we have the mobile apps. And this when we're talking about this feature set, this is really based around the tactical side or the legacy side, our traditional DroneSense applications. In addition to this, we also do have DroneSense Remote. So that's if you guys are flying as a drone as a first responder, we have another section, and we'll be talking about that at a different time. But this is really what, for you guys are just starting with the tactical portion of your programs. It's broken up into Airbase, Ops Hub, and the mobile apps. Airbase is going to be really for the program managers, and that's what we're going to focus on today. Ops Hub is going to be more for your incident command, right? Is how do I get a lot of information and then push it into an area that incident commanders can make good, timely decisions off of relevant information. The mobile app is how do we get information from our cell phones, from our drones, from our other devices into the incident commanders' hands and in front of them so they can make those different decisions, right? So three different areas, and throughout the series, you're going to hear us going through these different sections. I always like to say this is built for us by us, guys. Everything that you're going to see here, everything you're going to see going forward using DroneSense is built for us by us. We have an amazing engineering product team that design everything and that put this out in the world, but they do not come up with the ideas for this to be in front of you. So this is, when you're looking at this, again, Airbase, why are we going over Airbase? It's because this is made for you and your success of your program. I love these picks. I think about this as those of you guys that are in program management positions, you're the kings of multitasking, right? You have to be able to get everything done at once. And flying drones, driving robots, this is just a small part of your life. And we get it. You got to juggle all these things. And this is why we purpose built the software by us. Like we provided the engineers and product team the questions, I mean the problems, and they created solutions for us. And so your job is it becomes easier, right? So we're going to start with a tour. We're going to start with a tour of the system of the airbase, and then from there we'll go into those answers, those questions and answers. So let me change my screen here, and I'm going to go to another page. Where is my, sorry guys. Oh shoot. I see what I did. Give me 1 second, guys. I closed out my screen. There we go. Boom. All right. So logging in, when you guys are logging in, this is on the web app, right? Or the Airbase. This is when you go in, you're going to log into web.dronesense.com, and you're going to enter in your org ID. That is what is specific to your organization. We're going to be using our company's org that we usually operate out of. If you've already done some training or account setup with us, it's DSE is what you'll see us working out of. We're going to I put in my email address, which is going to be my username, and then my password. Hey, Tony, what you got? Anthony, you just raise your hand. Is he? All right, maybe not.
I'm seeing him again. Hang on.
Yeah, Coitt, they should be able to unmute. So, and then all you can drop questions into the chat as well, and we can relay them up. Tony, you're good. Saw that. Thanks, man. No
Okay.
worries.
Solid. All right, guys. So this is when you log in with your org ID, your username, and then your password. You're going to come into this application, right? And this is Airbase. The reason this is built is for you to be able to as a program manager, be able to get your job done, right? So first thing we're going to start with is the hamburgers up in the left-hand side. I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I am I will admit it. For years, I had no idea that the hamburgers were what the hamburgers did. I memorized all of these icons on the left-hand side of my screen, but I'm going to expand those icons with the hamburgers up in my upper left. Now, when you log in, you should be going to our dashboard. Now, the dashboard is a pretty interactive tool, which a lot of people like. When you just look at this flat face, you're like, okay, I see my scoreboard up upper right-hand corner. Upper right-hand corner, it says we have almost 7,000 flights underneath this org, 91 members of our team. Well, if you don't click on these, you wouldn't know it, but every one of these are interactive, right? So if I click,
Hey, Coitt, I think I just cut your audio off. Would you unmute yourself? Sorry, man. That was me. Fully admit that. All right.
mute.
Coitt, we can still, there you go. We got you back. I'm so sorry because you were on a flow too. So please continue. I will not do that again.
That's
Participants,
great.
John, you should be able to unmute yourselves now.
All right. So what I was saying is if you guys go, this is a super interactive screen. So make sure that you're clicking on the hamburgers at the upper left-hand side, and this is going to expand all your symbology, right? And your titles. If you go to any one of these uh uh, sections here on the dashboard, everything's interactive. So if I click on flights, it's going to direct me right to the flights page. If I click on members, it's going to take me right to the members page, right? So this is just kind of that quick link to get you over there. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're going through this. But this is going to be a really important page for you and your organization to look at your highlights, right? Hey, we have 7,000 flights in here. That's a pretty big win. So as a program manager, if you are gone, you leave on Friday, maybe, or maybe you've gone on shift You've gone on a vacation and you come back in and you can see, hey, this is what my team's been doing when I've been gone. You're also going to be able to see where they've been flying and what they've been doing. So for this, in this situation, I'm just going to click on one of our flights. I'm going to just pick on Cole here right now, and we'll see what Cole was doing during on this flight on January 31st, it looks like. So in Airbase, we have built this for us so you're able to answer questions for your public, right? Hey, what were you guys doing? Where were you doing it? When were you doing it? The public wants to know what you're doing with your programs. Your the people that you serve want to know. So you've got to be able to answer this. And this is a really good place to start is, hey, this is what my guys were doing at this time and this date. And if I go back into my replay engine, you'll see there's a little hyperlink. This is all very interactive, guys. I'm just gonna back out of here. So we'll see where Cole's flying at. I'm using my touchpad, so you're going to see me kind of move the screen around here, right? And that field of view is the cone that we're looking at. And we'll see, I bet, yep, there it is. That's what I was hoping to be able to see, is Cole is actually looking down and we'll see the cursor on target. So I'm going to a little stopwatch over my left. I'm going to pause it there, and we could definitively say where Cole was at this point in time. This GPS location that I clicked up on the top will show me where Cole was at this point in time. I know his altitude was 157 degrees. I know his heading was 171 because there's a compass rose down at the bottom. It's this artificial horizon that you're looking at. All this information is built into this replay engine. So as soon as you guys take your drones out, you plug them in, you turn them on, it is going to start recording all this information. And this is the information you guys are going to want to have if you have an incident, right? Good or bad. If you guys have something that you guys, a report that you guys are trying to like an after action that you want to show command what you guys were doing and when you were doing it, this is your system of record for that. So please dig in here. Go take your drones out, fly them, and then play the replay engine and watch what you do, where you're at and what you were doing. That is all, again, from just choosing a flight here on the screen. Now, as I mentioned, everything here is interactive. So if I click on any one of these, I went to Cole's flight, is as you guys saw me do that, I just clicked on his flight on this date. And I can now see that Cole has a lot of information built in here. I can see what the weather was during that time when he was flying on the 31st of January at 2:22 p.m. I could see that his flight was 22 minutes and 38 seconds. This is valuable information for you guys. I can click on any one of these tabs over here. I'm going to just go to Cole himself. So you guys can see it says crew. I'm going to click on Cole. And now I can show you every flight that Cole has had since he has been logged in here. That is incredibly invaluable, valuable to you guys as program managers. You can see how many flights he had, where he was at, what he's done, what aircraft is assigned to him, what if he has his Part 107 perhaps logged in or a document. I guess he has that tied in here. We can assign his documentation to him. Like there's a ton of information that is built into any one of these areas that I'm clicking on. I can go see what aircraft he was flying on that day. So if I click on there, this actually takes us directs us right over to this hardware page that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. And this will show us all kinds of information about that particular aircraft. What battery he was actually flying that day, because that's really important to know is how many batteries cycles your aircraft have on them. Hey, Matt, go with it, buddy. Oh, this just popped up and popped out. All right. So again, this is all for me just choosing that one link on the dashboard. There's a lot of information built into this dashboard here. So let's just drop down. We're going to go over to the left-hand side of our screen, and you guys are going to see where it says dashboard. That's what we're looking at currently. We're going to drop down to Ops Hub. We're not going to focus on that today, but I am going to just kind of say it again. Ops Hub is where all the information that comes from our different devices, it comes from anybody that is plugged into an event. It's where all that information comes in and then it gets pushed out to to the people that need to see and understand what's going on. So Ops Hub is the incident operations portion of our that's where you're going to see all the information come in and get it back out to the incident commanders. That's just summed up here. So flight submissions. I'm going to click on flight submissions, and you guys can. I want to just kind of high level overview of this, and I want everybody to be able to come in and play with this. On the left hand side of our screen, and on most of these sections, we have these filters that are built in. So if I click on my filters page, you guys can see that there's a lot of options. As you guys start building up flights, we have almost 7,000 of them here. We are going to want to be able to find specific flights, which could be related to a specific pilot or a specific date they were flying. So rather than trying to go through all your flights, use your filters to be able to find those tools. I mean, to be able to find those flights. Now, if I scoot over to the right-hand side of my screen, I'm going to go over to where it says a flight. You can actually add in, manually enter in flights that maybe it's you were flying when you didn't have any, you were flying with an aircraft that wasn't supported by DroneSense, and you wanted to add in some information. You can do that here and manually entering in your information by adding a flight. We can slide over here to the right, and you'll see that we can actually download all of this information as well. So if you need to send a report out to command of what you've been doing, and they need to actually see it, or you have a FOIA, you can download all this information, and it will download into a CSV file. And you can take that CSV and drop it into an Excel spreadsheet, right? And you can create graphs, you can do all kinds of neat things with that data. And that is through the download page. We also, just to the right of that, you'll see there's a gallery view. So this is all those flights, those almost 7,000 flights that we have built into the gallery view. I can go over to the right of that, which is going to be my list view. And then to the right of that, this one's super cool. I like this one. This is going to actually be our heat map. So I'm going to click on the little map. It looks kind of like a marker. And you're going to see and start populating here where all these flights took place at. So I'm going to kind of zoom out. And this becomes pretty handy when you're thinking about where you were flying at, what you were doing in your territories, right? So if you have an area that's super hot and you've been flying this flights over and over again, and you need to be able to see what you've been doing and where you've been doing it at, this is where you're going to grab that. And that's just to the right of the list view. There's actually a location view, right? And this is where you'll be getting these heat maps. On the top here, we also have missions. So a mission, and we'll go over missions more when we're going into Ops Hub, but missions are what you choose to fly in whenever you or operate in, whenever you are logging into the actual device that you're using. So a drone or your phones, these are the profiles or the missions that you operate in. And then we also have, to the right hand side of this, we have something called Texas logs. Now for Texas logs, the reason we have it says Texas on it is we had some statute built into our state, and it was actually set forth in 2012 called House Bill 423. And it is a statute that says, hey, anybody in the state of Texas using unmanned aircraft systems to capture images, and you represent over 3,000 people in your population, you have to report back to the Texas legislature, right? You have to report back what you're using your unmanned aircraft systems to do. So we actually have, in the state, we have statutes. In your state, you probably have something as well. For us, and when we created this, we created this thing called Texas Logs. It is a way for us to build out a report. This is part of your org. You may not know it. You may not see it turned on. This is free to you. You can use it. Just take off the Texas, forget about the Texas piece. If you're from another state, just know that you are able to create these reports, essentially, right? It's a log of what you were doing and when you were doing it. Just get with one of your guys from the customer success side, and we have to go behind the scenes, and we just something, a little switch that we switch on, and we will be able to toggle on the Texas logs for you. And that becomes pretty handy when you guys are looking at trying to create a report for your program. I'm going to drop down for the sake of time. This high-level overview, guys. We're going to go over to planning. Now, planning is where we can come in and we can add a NOTAM. A NOTAM is a notice to an airman, right? And now what this is a way for us through DroneSense to be able to file a um, a notification to the aviation community. And I don't just say crewed aviation anymore because it is the aviation community. It's crewed and uncrewed. And this is where you're able to file through flight services um, a, 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 a flight plan essentially, or what you're going to be doing and when you're going to be doing it. And that's important, especially if maybe you guys have a music event, or you guys got a sporting event, or you got something long term, or like the Palisades fire you wanted in California. They knew they had a lot of aircraft coming in and out of there, and they wanted everybody to know that they were going to be doing unmanned aircraft operations at 200 feet for this period of time during these periods during the daytime. This is where you can file your notice to an airman, and that is something that will populate on a map like SkyVector. So this is where the maps that the aviation community can look at to see where these different flight plans may be filed. And in this case, it would be a flight plan for an unmanned aircraft system. So if you guys got questions on that, please again fire it up to your CSMs, and we'll help answer that information for you. I'm going to drop down to members and teams, and when I go to members and teams, you'll get to see like we got all these cool faces. We actually have two Alex Armstrongs, which is amazing. We're trying to clone him as fast as possible. He is, if you haven't met Alex Armstrong, he's from our learning and development team, and he's going to be helping you guys out with going further into DroneSense. We do have him cloned twice, and we're working on more. I'm going to click on Alex's page, and just like I showed you with Cole, we have a lot of information built in here. Every flight Alex has had has been recorded in here. We have down in the documents page, we have a place where you can, I mean, he's uploaded his Part 107 certificate, and I'll show you where that takes place. And he's just added it to his page, his document page, or his members page. So if you look where my mouse is at, it says add document. I'm going to click on that, and you'll see that we can actually come in and add any one of these documents to his profile. And again, I'll show you where that is located at here in a few minutes. We can see what Alex's training is. So as we're gonna again go through a training section, and you'll be able to assign trainings and track your trainings and what personnel are have met your the standards that you have in your organization. You can assign that, and you can see that in this members page. So there's a lot of information here. All right, members and teams. He's part of all of our teams. He's pretty amazing. So this is on the members and teams page. A lot of information built into this portion of our system. Do we have any questions so far, Dave and Ramon? I'm just kind of running through this. I want to make sure that there's nothing in here that we need to stop and address.
Coitt, you're doing great, and I'm trying to address the questions directly into the chat. So if
Yeah.
anybody, all I did confirm, you should be able to unmute yourself. So feel free to raise a hand or come on up in the conversation. But I think we're good right now.
My man, thank you. I'm going to note something here. You see Alex's beautiful bald head in his picture. This is something that I highly recommend that you guys do. And you'll find out as we get further into this training program why it's important to have a picture built in here. But I think just as a program manager, and as you guys are developing your program out, you want to be able to look as professional as you can. Like you have, guys, this is not cheap. Like you're paying for a pretty complex piece of software and a lot of customer service that's going to be coming along with it. Man, be proud of this thing. Get in here um and 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 build it out the best you can. We have an area for I mean, if you can go in here, you can see, I'm going to click on edit details, and you'll see everything that we can put in. So we can put in Alex's Part 107 number in here, his radio number, who he reports to, right? We can add all of this into this section or into his members page, into the members page, and it really helps you as your organization grows and develops. Hey, Dave, did you raise your hand, bub?
I did.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
So there is a question in the chat. Sean is asking how you can view the satellite view snapshot under the flight cards instead of the street view in the flight cards.
The satellite view, this view right here, is this what he's talking about?
Oh, if you go back, Coy, where you can see all the flight cards,
Oh, the
there.
flight card. So I'll go
Sorry, the
back
flight
to it.
cards. Yep.
Yep.
So there's an adjustment, and you guys, of course, I'm going to get put on the spot. This is a newer feature that we allow you to do this. You guys, Ramon, step up here. Do we do it under the admin settings, or where do we make that change? Each of you have the ability to set how you want the map displayed for each of the flight cards.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
Okay. We're going to let you know. So you've got the DroneSense Dream Team on here. Now, if Alex were here right now, he'd be
Yeah.
so. So, Coy, continue and we'll circle back on that. Is that
Right on,
fair?
bro.
We'll
Right
get the
on.
answer.
Right on. Hey, so if you guys are gonna have people that are gonna retire, you're gonna have people that um get moved out of the organization for different reasons. Maybe they quit the team. We do have up in the upper right hand side, you guys can see it says disable. Not gonna do that to Alex. The payback would be horrible. So we're gonna leave Alex in here, but just know like you can disable people. We cannot get rid of data, guys. You're not going to be able to get rid of data here. You can archive information. That's all you can do. You can archive. I'm going to show you what archiving looks like here in just a second. But you can archive your information or your information, which will just take your, let's say Alex, and disable him. We'll put him into a folder. We'll take your aircraft that you've archived. We'll put it into a folder. You can't get rid of it, but we'll just archive it so it no longer shows here with everybody else. I'm going to drop down just below this to our training page, our training section. So if you'll see, when I tag the training here on the just below the members and teams, you'll see that training pops up. Now, you guys, we actually have a lot of information, and I'm going to show you something to remind you about where you can find some of these resources at. Okay, for anything we've talked about today. We have a YouTube page, we have a support page, we have a learning management system, you have access to us and customer success. But within Airbase, you'll see just next to this training icon, it says learn more about training and managing training. So if I click on that, you will see that it will take me right to our support page. And then within the support page, we have more hyperlinks. So add a new training page, right? So it will actually walk you through what you need to do in order to create a training program. We're not going to go through that right now, but I just want to make sure that you're clear that if you click up here where it's right next to training, where you see the graduates hat, that is actually where you are going to find that information at, right? It's going to help you whenever you're unable to talk with us or you're on the fly or whatever. That resource page will take you directly to our support page. So in this, I'm just going to give you kind of an example. Let me find one where it says Part 107 because that's kind of fun. Here we go. I'm going to go to our Part 107 page. So we just created this internally, right? We all have to have our Part 107s if we're flying these things. So you can see that we have set up a training page here, and this allows us to track. We know that Part 107s have to be you have to recert every 2 years. So this is a way for us to track that information. So if I wanted to add somebody to this page, I would, after I've created this training template, I would add a name, and it would actually, when I put in their date, it would start counting back how many days it is until they expire. This is what we used to call Excel hell, guys. I mean, our program in Austin was not huge, but I had 35 people I had to track. I needed to know where they were at, what they were doing, so I could report back to the chiefs and the public. I needed to know what the certs were, when they expired. So again, built for us, by us, we built this training program so we would be able to track your certs. So this becomes really important. And again, you guys can see over here on this thing where it says documents, you can add in your Part 107 cards. So when we're talking about Airbase, we're talking about program management, right? And why this is so important because you have a day job and that you have to do all these other things. We're trying to make it easy. Oh, Mr. Toner. What you got, bub? You want to unmute,
Yeah,
James?
that now I can. I didn't have that ability earlier. Um, so I'm having this exact issue right now with this. I have mine set up exactly like you have this right here.
Okay.
And now I keep getting notified that on March 1st, um, it expires. And I thought it was just because my 107 was expiring in March. I renewed it, but I keep getting this notification. So I'm being told now that um, in here, when I say that it expires and it's good for 2 years, that is for this specific um, group of training. So now what I have to do is create another Part 107 certification that lasts 2 years. And now I have to go in and re-add everybody to it with their current 107 expiration. Instead of just what I've been doing for the last 2 years, apparently, is just hit renew, put the new date, and we just keep on trucking. So
Let us circle back with you on that one.
okay. Yeah, if you get with me later, I appreciate it.
Yep, definitely do that. Thanks, James. Thanks for
And then
being.
also, just real quick, if you when you were trying to figure out the cards, if you go to the very top in the admin section where it says hybrid enabled.
Yep. And I just posted that into the chat as well. So that's it. So you've got to be an org admin. You head into the admin settings, edit organization details, and then you enable the hybrid map view from there. So thank you.
Solid. That's actually good, really good feedback. Thanks for that, man. All right. So let me drop down from here. So that was training. I'm gonna drop down to hardware. Hardware, guys, this is a beast. Anytime you turn on DroneSense, anytime you turn it on, it's gonna start recording whatever you guys are flying in, right? So you turn on your Mavic 3T, it's going to start recording that this is part of your org. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that we can archive things, right? So if you are flying in DroneSense, and let's say James Toner, he's Harris County. We have a ton of storms that come through Harris County. James says, "Hey man, I need some people to help me fly for infrastructure inspection because we just got whacked by this last storm." So people could come into his org. He could invite people in. He could fly. As soon as their drones turns on, it's going to look like James is flying with these drones. Is flying with drones, or James has drones that he's no longer using. We'll play that one out too. So James has a large program with lots of people, lots of drones, and he is no longer using a particular drone. On the right-hand side of my screen, there's a little toggle that says archived. And you guys can see I can archive and unarchive that. All this does is puts everything into a folder for us, right? Into a box. You cannot get rid of your information, guys. And this is to protect you in case the public comes looking for what you've done with your funding. We can't get rid of it. Nobody can get rid of it, but we can archive it. All right. So we can actually in our system, we can show you based off of this one aircraft everywhere you've flown with that drone. We can show you as soon as you turn it on, it's going to pull up the aircraft serial number and control number, right? So you don't have to look at the little QR code in the back of your Mavic that you can't see to find your serial number. As soon as you turn it on, it's going to actually pull it up here. You can, if you have a large fleet like James and Matt Bridge Farmer in that group, you can actually come over here and we're working on this. This is constantly in development. But we can actually identify what the status is for each of these aircraft, right? So if you've got a bunch of aircraft that are just like they're just trainers and you're sitting them on the shelf, or you have operational aircraft that had to go out to maintenance, you can identify that over here on the right hand side of your screen for this particular aircraft. So there is a lot of information that you can build out here. So when I was talking about, hey, you guys can go in and put your pictures in for your members card, look at what all you can do for just a piece of hardware. I mean, you can add documents, you can show where it's assigned to. I mean, there's a lot of information built in. Where this thing lives at is very important. So if you have like the state of Texas and you're trying to show where certain locations where these aircraft are positioned at for state organization and you're all over the place, this is a place that you can actually denote where that aircraft is assigned to. We don't only record the aircraft itself, we go over the batteries. We have the sensors. So I'm just going to click on sensors for you guys can see. Look at all those different drone cameras. You guys probably haven't seen the XC2 in a while. So this is a way for you to be able to see all these different sensors that actually anything that plugs into your aircraft. I will say it once again, guys. There's a lot of information here, so make sure that you know where that filter button is up in the upper left-hand side of your screen, because filters are going to allow you to really dial in what you're looking for. Ramon, Dave, am I missing anything on that? All right. Custom hardware, guys, you may end up having hardware. Let's say you guys have a Starlink. We have a few of us who are running around with Starlink. Man, you can put this in here in your equipment section and track that. We are developing this section out, and this is kit. So if you have a kit that's maybe in the back of your patrol vehicle, or if you're a fire knucklehead, it's in the back of your battalion chief's truck, right? You're developing a kit. This is where you can develop kits and assign them to certain people and units. And we're constantly iterating on this. This is kind of a newer one for us, so this is something, give us a little bit of grace. We're working on building this one out and improving it. But kits actually exist here within our hardware page. I'm going to drop down to maintenance. Maintenance, guys, we're aviation safety culture. If you guys are anybody here has any background in aviation, it is very, very important that you maintain your equipment. I mean, there are cycles on equipment. Unfortunately, in the unmanned systems world right now, there's not a lot of examples of good maintenance programs. So if you are part of I would say if you are a smaller fish in a big pond, so we were the Austin Fire Department in the state of Texas. We took our maintenance program from Texas DPS. We said, hey, listen, if you're going to go after the Austin Fire Department, you're going after the state of Texas. So we took their procedures or maintenance procedures, and we created maintenance procedures based off of what they were doing and their schedules. We want to know how often we needed to do those procedures. We did that off of Texas DPS. There is not a lot of information out here in the community currently on maintenance programs. Now, if you have an M300, you're going to have a maintenance program that's going to be shipped with you, right? That is a aircraft that has a maintenance program built into it. But for the most part, we are not the industry is still so new that you are actually going to have to create this yourselves, right? And that's what I'm saying by the reason I'm saying this is something is better than nothing. So if you have an opportunity to come in here and you just say, listen, public, we check our props every 10 hours, flight hours. We check our batteries. We do a physical check on our aircraft every 8 hours, whatever, you name it, right? You have something there. It's something is better than nothing, because currently in the industry, there really is nothing. There's not a lot out there. So make sure that you create your procedures and your schedules, just like PMing your vehicles, right? Every so many miles, you got to take your vehicle in to get it maintained. Same thing here. If you have questions on how to create those systems or maintenance programs, again, where this little graduate hat is on my screen, it says learn more about managing maintenance. This will take you to our support page, which will help you help you with that. Now, the next toggle down is going to be my safety page. In safety, this is where we actually have the ability to create an incident report. Very, very important for a couple of reasons. None of us in public safety like to show that we've had a problem. I get it. I totally get it. This guy right here, I've made plenty of mistakes in my career. I've done things plenty wrong. And I've had to for my team and for the betterment of our organization, I've had to denote that, right? I mean, I had to write that down. So if I had, when we started our program, I thought it was cool to be able to fly at an angular descent to land my aircraft, and I flew through some high transmission power lines. Thank God I didn't hit them. Flew right through them, no problem. but I needed to let the team know that I made a mistake, right? Then, and it wasn't that, anybody was going to get after me, is that I knew that down the road we need to develop our training programs to reflect um, to reflect the improvements that we've made. I needed to look back in 2025. I needed to look back at 2016 and say, you know what, we've come a long way from where we started at. Our training has changed, so we no longer will fly at an angular descent. We'll come over at altitude, drop straight down on top of our pad, and we're good. I wouldn't have had that if I hadn't had this if I hadn't created an incident. In here, guys, you're gonna have the place to put your narratives. Okay, so this is where you can actually come in and put in all of your information for this incident and be able to track it for for your program. Very, very important. I can't really say this enough is how important this is for you and your organization. We also have the ability to do a checklist. So if you guys have already taken your drones out and flown, you've seen that there's a little checklist at the top of your device when you're flying it, and you click on it and it's all red until you click on all of them and it says it's green. We allow you to modify your own checklist here. So if you have a preferred checklist, you can create that every time you take your drone out, and you'll actually have that on your controller. We do have an area for reporting. So if you're flying underneath the COA and you're turning your information in to the CAP system, if you're doing Texas logs and you need to report, we have an area though that you can report back your information. I'm going to say this again. When we download this information, it comes in a CSV file. So you're going to take that CSV information, put it in an Excel spreadsheet, and you can create graphs. You can create information that will help you paint the picture of what you've been doing with your program. And this is under our reporting page. Resources. I said that I was going to get to this at some point. This is where you're going to drop your Part 107 doc or your Part 107 card. So what I did is I just took my Part 107 card out, took my cell phone, took a picture of it, added it to a document, made a PDF out of it, dropped it in here. And this is where this is how I did this, right? I took a picture of my card, put it into the system here. I said, hey, this is Coitt Kessler Part 107. My Part 107 card, clicked in here to upload my picture, and now that is in our system in the resource page. So we've got a lot of different resources that are built in here. This could be maintenance programs, this could be reports that you have. This is all lives inside of a resource page. Think of a resource page kind of like a Dropbox, right? This is where all your information can be pulled in, and then you can assign it to, this is a maintenance program. So my document that could be assigned to my hardware page. This is my Part 107. My Part 107 card could be assigned to my members page. So this is all built into the resource section. Duty logs, not going to go into this. Just know that we do have duty logs for larger organizations like Texas DPS that's flying 24/7 along the border for Operation Lone Star. We have duty logs built out in here. The last part is going to be our admin section. So admin is a pretty robust section. This is what Dave and James Toner were talking about earlier. This is where you can come in and you can customize roles. This is where you're saying, what's a role? Well, it's whenever you're bringing in somebody to your organization, you're giving them a role to be in your org. So maybe they're a member of your team or they have an ops viewer privileges. This is where you're going to assign roles to your people that are coming in. This is where you can actually see what your subscription is. This section, the admin section, guys, is really focused primarily. This is where your org admins are going to live. This is where your guys that are actually running your programs are going to spend their time. This is not where a normal RPIC is going to operate at. This is where you can come in and invite your members in your teams in here. This is where you can see the folks that you've disabled or that are no longer part of your programs. This is where you can see who you've invited into your team, and maybe their invite is waiting in their email. So if you were a new program manager, you've just invited one of your team members in, you can actually say, hey, listen, Chris Baker, you were invited in on, you'll find an email that was sent to you on October 17th, 2024. It was sent to you, and this all lives in this admin section. So from here, I want to make sure that we do have some time for some questions. I know Dave's been watching them pound away at the keyboard. I'm going to drive it back over to this page here. These are resources, okay? So I've thrown a lot at you, and I know it's just been a lot of words. Bam, 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 bam. There is a lot of information, guys, that is that is a part of our ecosystem. I mean, and as we grow and we develop, again, this is built for us by us. As we our community, the public safety community grows and develops, we're learning that we need to provide different things. We need to make things better in certain areas. So it is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. When many of us started our programs, it didn't look like this. But now we are growing to I mean, it's becoming quite a beast. And with that, we understand that you guys need ways of getting in touch with us and being able to have resources that you can go to find answers. So we have a YouTube page. If you guys go to YouTube and type in DroneSense, go ahead and subscribe to our page, right? Get in there and be part of our YouTube page. In that YouTube page, you're going to find podcasts. So if you guys are going on drives, you're going to be listening to some cool podcasts. You're going to see videos. We have playlists. Those playlists are going to have all sorts of information on tips and tricks, and they'll have this basic training recorded on there. You'll have a lot of information saved into our YouTube page. To the right of that, you'll see our DroneSense support page, support.dronesense.com, support.dronesense.com. That's going to get you to our support page where you can type in anything, any area that you have questions about, and it is going to have a wonderful support page built around it. We have a learning management system for those that are unaware of. Our learning development team, which is Mike Traylor and Alex Armstrong, are amazing. They have created an online learning management program to help you and your people learn our system. And then last but not least, you also have us, human beings that come from public safety. And that's very important that you guys know this. We are all public safety. We come from this world. We understand that you're going to be ringing us on weekends, nights, and holidays because that's when you work. All right. We have a customer success team that understands the problems that you're going through and that we are a resource for you. So these are just I want to make sure you guys are up to speed on all this. Let's see here. This is where you're going to take your phones out very quickly. And you're going to take some pictures of these three QR codes I have here. Okay. So if you want course credit on this, you guys take your phones out of your pockets, take a picture of this. I'm going to give you, I think I'll probably go with a 10 count on this. And then we'll move to the next two QR codes. So again, this is for a course credit. If you want to receive a course credit for this program to say, hey, listen, I've been attending the basic training programs put on DroneSense. Here you go. So here's a 10, a 9, an 8, 7, a 6, a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, and I'm moving to the next one, guys. Uh-oh. Dave, what you got?
All right. Hey, I know we're almost at the time. Coitt, that QR code, everybody go ahead and scan it, lodge your request. Coitt, let me let you finish off at the very end. I do want to come back and talk about some changes to the way attendees are going to get certificates, though. Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Second one, instructor feedback. You guys tell them how bad I suck. Let them know that I'm a terrible instructor, please. This is where you're going to take a picture of this and you're going to rate the instruction and the quality of this and write what you need to for the next course. We're going to be breaking this down every 2 weeks, guys. We're going to have another course. I can't remember what the next one is, but we will have another course in 2 weeks, something similar to this, where we'll be going through information specific to an area that we're working with. So I give you a 10, a 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and moving to the next one. Last QR code. This is going to have my personal information. This is my cell phone. Do not hesitate to call. It's always on. I'm a resource for you guys, the same way that the rest of the team is. This QR code is actually going to take you to our support page, right? Our support numbers. Want to make sure that you guys have this, save it into your contacts. Put it into your contact, make a contact card. And if you need one, I'll send it to you. You can just tag me and I'll send you the one I have already created. put a contact card together and send that to everybody on your team. Weekends, nights, and holidays, we have people that are going to be answering questions for you if you're having issues or if you have problems with your system. And so make sure that you reach out to our support team. We have somebody on call 24 hours, 24/7 to be able to help you guys out. But you're going to have to reach out to our support team in order to make that happen. Okay. So please take a picture of this QR code, save it, and then send that to everybody on your team and explain to them that there is a human being that's going to answer these calls and they are going to be able to be there when you need it on a bad day. With that, guys, I know Dave and Ramon have been firing back on questions and answers. I appreciate you guys doing that. Dave, you wanted to talk about that QR code, and if we got any questions, let's just go into them.
Yeah, thanks so much, Coy. So listen, as we grow and scale, we're seeing the number of attendees into these trainings, go up and up every semester, every year. What we want to do is we basically want to create a self-service portal for you to access certificates on your own. We're considering some different things, but just know in the future that we are most likely going to change the way that you get the certificates. So, we have just a minute left. What we were thinking was we would basically create a course in our learning management system for each of these biweekly basic trainings. Each of you, we can give an enrollment to the 2025 DroneSense, biweekly basic training course group. And then you can just log in every 2 weeks. You can say, did you attend it? You can say yes, and then you can generate the certificate yourself. Is anybody vehemently opposed to having more of a self-service option like that? Because I know it's not important to everybody on this call. So, and again, if nobody wants to speak up now, that's okay. I've dropped my email in the chat a number of times. Feel free to email me back with any feedback as well. Thanks for that feedback, Jonathan.
Hey, Dave, I'm just looking at these chats. Holy cow, man, there's a lot of chats.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for that. Is there anything that we didn't answer? Is there anything that we missed here? Are we pretty good on?
No, I think we covered it all. I am going to get some folks to reach out to me directly just for some really specific follow-up, but I think we covered kind of the arc of most of the questions within the chat.
Man, thank you so much, guys, for taking care of that while I'm running my mouth. That's a huge help. Guys, I'm excited to see all the new people here. I'm excited to see this group of folks. We're just about at time. I told you I needed my boys to keep me honest here. There was something I said I was going to show you, and that is, or put on here, and that is the weekly work groups. So give me 1 second. I'm going to take a couple hyperlinks here. I'm going to put them in the chat for us. So first one, if you guys go to the chat bottom, you guys have all been on here already. I'm putting in this chat, this hyperlink, this link. This is for our working group. This is every Friday, homies. Every Friday, we want to see you on here. Every Friday. That's where, like, we got a cool one coming up this week. We got some releases that are coming out that are going to be pretty slick. Matt Bridgefarmer is actually real excited about this week because we're going to make his life a lot better for doing flight planning up and down a coastline, right? Being able to fly up and down rivers. So join us this Friday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard. Take this, save this. Take this, send it to all the rest of your team. It doesn't matter if you're brand new. It doesn't matter if you're the OG. Come and join us on our work groups. This is where all the information comes out every week for us to our community. Uh-oh, Jonathan, you're not seeing it? Did I screw up here? He's not seeing the link. Dave, are you seeing it? Oh, hang on. I did host some panelists.
You did. There you go. Yep.
Hey, thanks for that, brothers. I appreciate it. There it is.
There you go.
All right. So that's the working group. It's 12 o'clock Eastern Standard every week. Now you guys are looking forward to joining the DroneSense remote side of the house. Here's a working group specifically for DroneSense remote. So if you have questions and you guys are wanting to get into the remote side of the world, we want to have you in here too. This is DroneSense remote. This is the registration for the DroneSense remote. So I welcome to the community, welcome to the team. We want to have you guys on these meetings. This is how we grow. We cannot grow without us providing information and being able to share our problems so we can create solutions for you. With that, guys, I'm at time. Dave, Ramon, anything else I missed? Wrap?
Nope. Great job, Coitt, as always. And everybody, thanks for attending today. And we'll see you back in 2 weeks. Thanks.
2 weeks. OpsHub 101. See you guys. Bye. Shutting it down.